Hello and welcome to the Paul Plays Season 3, a new custom map made by Palma, Vast Oasis Mk4. Ave Governor. It seems exile has not diminished you. I am told, through gritted teeth, the gods themselves have taken an interest in you. How irritating. Very well. I will not contend with whatever divine whim has led you back from your galley duty. You may found a city. Understand this. In my wisdom, I have chosen the site. You will build at the Empire's edge, where the land is jagged and the soil resents the touch of a plough. My surveyors insist there is an oasis, with water aplenty, but I know the truth. It brings to mind the poem of the mariner. Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. The locals, I am told, are industrious, particularly with axes. There is a strong likelihood they will object, forcefully, to your expansion into what they consider their sacred lands. Perhaps if your divine patrons remain attentive, trade routes will appear. Caravans may find you, opportunities may bloom where they have no right. As for me, I'll offer my own prayers that such blessings never find you. So go, build your city, test your fortune against the land and its people. We will see whose faith is stronger. Caesar. So, hints. There are 4 invasion points. They are marked with roads and water. They will not originate from the entry and exit points. You have a limited time to make as much money as possible before expanding your city to meet the necessary requirements. There are 2 enemy types. As always, comments are appreciated for balance purposes. Changelog, secret missing water spot has been corrected in the southwest. Altered the population goal and invasion numbers, and a thanks to myself for their suggested changes from an earlier version. So, before you technically could get water from this location, that little puddle extended to there, you wouldn't want to actually get water from here because this is an invasion point. So as soon as the invasion happened, it would destroy your water economy. And the water economy is a big part of this map. There are lots of little puddles, but none of them are actually touchable. There is precisely 1 valid water source on this map. The location where you would want to put a dock. Which is... well, it says, do you want to trade via the sea, or do you want to have water? Trading via sea will help you have money, but you need water in order to get high-level housing and meet the objectives of the level. The overseas trade routes will buy oil, furniture, and pottery. Wine, weapons, and pottery. The local trade routes will buy wine and oil and marble, and wine, oil, and pottery. So there's a lot of sale of wine and pottery. Oh, sorry, wine and oil. A little bit of pottery and a little bit... well, actually a fair bit of pottery, if we're honest. And marble. They will sell clay. They will sell timber. They will also sell iron and wheat. What resources do we have locally? Wheat, always lovely to have on a desert level. You get double food production off of wheat on desert and central. Fruit, no third food type. Olives and vines, which makes sense if we're meant to be selling wine and oil. And for raw goods, we have only marble. So no wood for furniture, no clay for pottery. We're going to have to import those, which were sold by donkey, so that's fine. If they were only sold by sea, you'd be screwed. But also no iron. So if we want real soldiers, we're going to have to pay to import the iron and turn it into weapons locally. There are a fair few food areas. There's a food area here. There's a food area here. There's a food area here. And there's a food area here. And you cannot go fishing. There is no fishing. So the fishing spots are artistic, not functional. The real challenge... do we have a mission post? There is a mission post. But we know Palmer. The way Palmer works is he gives you a mission post and then he's gonna, like, have an earthquake here or here cutting off the mission post. And it's also such a huge distance away that getting them to trade will actually take a long time. Like, their trader walking all the way across here. You can't really produce anything on the island, because I suppose you could set up a tiny... There's just enough space to have, like, warehouse, one house, and maybe 3 workshops, or 4 or 5 if you use the road. But it will all get cut off, and I'd rather not invest there only for it to get blown up by an earthquake, because that's the kind of nasty thing that Palmer does on his maps. I'd rather just have the reliable setup that I don't have to worry about. We have got a pretty long time to win. 420 is a lot time of months. So we can probably spend a while just trading and making money and then convert over. My mind says make this the patrician zone, which means that it's a good place to do our temporary starting workforce. We will lower our taxes and we'll look at how much salary we're allowed. Apparently we are not allowed any salary, which is crippling. No gifts allowed for Caesar, unless you're willing to fight the favor loss from paying yourself. You do come out ahead, but it's kind of... It really slows down the favor generation. Where will we set up stuff? We'll probably be setting up starting stuff here. Nice and centrally in the middle. I want to leave space to run a aqueduct through there later, which is why we've left a space along that edge. Something like there. Yeah, I think that would get there. Technically, we don't need to leave that much space. Alright, so that will be our starting industry. We will import pottery, and make pottery, potentially, and weapons. And then we'll set up a oil and wine here. How much wine and oil can we sell? A functionally infinite amount. Make sure that we turn the taxes down. Yes. Let that first person roll in. Good. And now that we feel safe with that, we start filling up this. We're on a desert, so you need an infinite number of anti-fire firefighters. And we don't want everyone to die to begin with, so they get to have a doctor. Yes, yes, yes. Not enough workers, we know. Okay. About there, I think. What psychic damage did FF7 give us? Immense psychic damage with its stupid controls that it doesn't explain properly or it lies about. Directions that it lies about. You should go to the east, when it actually means you should go south, south, southeast, etc. Terrible translation. There's very little to like about FF7 other than that the animation cutscenes are really good quality and the music. Those two things are good. And I will make no qualms about admitting that. That aspect of FF7 is good. Okay, we know Palma. We're going to want a military up basically right away. In fact, yes, there's already enemies closing and a distant battle. Workers, please. And we've actually got enough to start up the first industry. Can we get a merger here somewhere? Pretty please? There we go. Kind of disappointing. Yeah, there looks good. So, we need to open the trade routes. Ouch. Our bones. We allow the import of clay. We allow the export of pottery, the export of oil, the export of wine, even though we aren't making them yet. We say you are allowed to accept clay and pottery. Caesar gives us $600 bailout loan. It's not exactly overwhelmingly generous. I guess we'll start with 4. And then we're going to want to set up that wine and oil. Oh, and we also need a barracks over here somewhere. Yeah, for the moment you can go there. Alright, let's think about this oil. Actually, the wine should go on the far right, because the oil wants to be closer to the center so that we can move oil around for our city later, whereas only the patricians and trade donkeys will want wine. 4 seems like a good starting amount. That's 32, and how much can we sell? We can actually sell a lot more than that. It's a good start, I think. Now, do we go there, or do we go here? I kind of like there. That means I can squeeze in one more. Somewhere there should be a merger there. Caesar says, how dare you be in debt? Come on, fill in. Before this all burns down, and I cry. There we go. You're jealous that I can play the same game for so long? I love my Railroad Tycoon. There. We did get a merger, so the others can go. This will house the wine. There. Need slightly more people. Which means that for the moment the wine processing will stay off, even if we do make the vines. And now we're going to bribe our way past Caesar. I think we do. So we're going to give ourselves... Wait, what? How do I have 30? Oh, you start with a tiny amount of money this time. Alright, well, we'll spend that bribing Caesar. We need 80 people, and this is about 80 people. Yep, we can probably turn that on now. Beautiful. And now if you would actually sell the pottery, which is yes, but that didn't exactly get us out of debt. Well, new year. Let's get one more Neptune temple going so we can try and trigger double money this year. That's some glorious wine to sell. We're gonna boost our salary for 1 month, so we have enough to bribe Caesar with one more time and get out from underneath the 20. And then we go back down to 0. There we go. The wine gets us out of debt. Whew. We kind of really would like a military academy. Yep, which puts us back in debt, but means that this first set get now count as military academy trained. We'll get 1 more fort of javelins over this side. Or actually, maybe here? Here? We're going to want the water to come out that way. But, like, there is okay. Yeah. Caesar says, make and send me some marble. Here is a marble mining spot. There is a marble mining spot, and so is there. I kind of like that one a bit more. Or up there. Up here would also work. And possibly somewhere there? Yeah, I kind of like up here. I can't see us using that for anything else unless maybe there's enough spare food here to put a little bit of people there. That said, we need more people. And that said, we need to get out of debt from the new fort. So we wait a little bit more. We don't actually want that road continuing past you. This not having triggered is odd. Okay, out of debt again, we set up new people. Where will our new temporary people be? Kind of like the idea of here. And we want someone here for running soon-to-be marble mining. And we're going to try and set up the oil to run off that same tent. One very industrious person is going to run most of our industries. There's the Neptune blessing. This area needs to not burn down, and it needs to not explode. That's enough to do this area. So, marble. Marble. It's not actually very much marble production. Well, it's a start. Might have to set up 2 of these then. The one on the entrance that I didn't really want to do. Yeah, that's more reasonable. We need to leave space for the aqueduct to move through, but otherwise there works. There, that should be about right. Assuming one of those 2 merges. And then even more people to run the oil. You need employees, yes, I understand. New people are on their way. That should be enough to meet Caesar's demands easily. We could also sell a bit. But let's make sure we keep enough on hand for Caesar's demands and our own want. And we're starting to have enough workers to set up the oil. So... basically wanted to mirror this, but maybe be a little bit bigger. That's annoying. That works on a technicality, but I'd rather not be pushing that like that. That works. We would like more than that, though. We'd probably like more like 6. Yeah. And then, to start with, save up the oil. Well, to start with, save up the olives, then we'll work on the oil. These need to not explode. There. And then we are actually going to need even more temporary people. So where would we shove even more temporary people? This high ground? Something like there? This looks like a reasonable spot for temporary people. And this one will want a doctor. We only want average health, not so bad health that people start actually dying. Yes, the gods are going to start getting grumpy that I don't have enough temples. Which we could solve with an oracle. 2 oracles gives us till about 2,000. So why not? And from here we save for giving Caesar his marble. After having spent that marble rather than doing what Caesar wants. Alright, that's almost enough people to run the soon-to-be oil works. I don't want to block that spot. Which actually kind of means that I do want to undo those two and put them 1 square further down. So that I can squeeze in 1 more. And that might mean that these need access to both sides, so we'll create a little connecty road here. That doesn't actually destroy this because both loops should circle around fine. I think. Make a save. And just watch the fire extinguishing services and then compare these. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these is unsupported. And we should get rid of it. Once these are all up and running. Our first attack, Caesar says, "Where's my marble? Why are you taking so long getting me my marble?" Got 2 armies for this attack. And we really should probably start making weapons. To make real armies. So let's mark the weapon iron as importable. And give you slightly more work to do. There. That does mean we need slightly more people, probably about that many. Price of weapons goes up and Mars blows up some enemies for us, and we're all good. But the prefects that went to help fight the invasion weren't doing their firefighting here. And so we have some collapses. Okay, fix those back up. Maybe a little bit more people there. Alright, we should have enough to send Caesar his yes. Requested that. We sent him another gift. Hey Programbler, a lovely Sunday? Glad to hear it. We need to leave that space for a reservoir, but we could probably have one more pottery thing. We're starting to have actual weapons, which means we could start to have a real army. One squeezed down into that corner for dealing with the invasion points. So the invasion points are here, 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 and here. Palmer was nice enough to say they're indicated by puddle plus road. Well, those 4 places are the places that have puddle plus road. Caesar says thank you for the marble. And that was another price rise in pottery. We might be getting to the point where selling pottery is no longer... Oh no, selling pottery is still profitable. We should keep at it for a while more. You were excess to needs. Alright. And now that we dealt with Caesar's thing, we only really need to keep 4 on hand for ourselves. All the rest of the marble may be sold. Is this Augustus? This is Julius. You're buying pottery to on... we buy clay, then we convert it into pottery and then on-sell it. And it was the clay input price went up. So the cost of buying the base good for turning into pottery went up. So we make less profit because input good more expensive to buy. Alright. I feel like I should set up our other army. There's a Palmar map. We can expect many and unpleasant attacks. There seems reasonable. Should be okay for guarding this attack and not too far away from that one. That's what confused you. Augustus has the Reconquered campaign, which is quite good. The difficulty is calibrated. Yeah, I don't particularly like Augustus, or at least a lot of the settings that the maps are made around assuming that you use. Global labor, auto-merging, blah blah blah. The way that food carts are assumed to move 5 times as much food, etc. There are lots of lovely things about it. It has lots of extra pretty art and like the big temples and the extra decorations and stuff are really nice, but doesn't do it for me. And they add too many weird new things now, like the extra trade goods, and I really hate the monument building. Monument building was terrible in Pharaoh, it's terrible in all the other Impressions games. The fact that they incorporated the monument building into Augustus is just absolute... Nah. Not interested. I played through the original Augustus campaign, and in the time it took me to almost 2/3 build one of the, like, fancy Colosseum things on the Londinium map, I was already finished the campaign level, right? It takes so long to build things the stupid monuments. I have zero interest in twiddling my thumbs for years while the monuments slowly build. Zero interest. You need to re-exist. We should probably then set up furniture making. So I need to leave a space for the water to get in. The monument building you feel is fine, but not when it takes as long as some of them did in the impression. It just takes so long, Jingo. Okay, now you send me 20 loads of marble. Marble takes forever to mine. You slowly send it the marble. And then send me 10 lumber. Okay, you send it 10 lumber. Okay, that was phase 1 of 3. Now you've got to do that 3 more times, and between every phase you also have to wait for the little workmen guys to walk over there. It's just... no. Not for me. I want game that actually doing things rather than waiting. I'm not going to say that it's bad for me. I don't necessarily think it's a bad mechanic overall. I don't enjoy it. You did the pyramids in Pharaoh? No, thank you. It's a big part of the reason why I haven't returned to Pharaoh to finish off that campaign that we're supposed to finish off. 1, 2... 3, 4, 5. Actually, 5 is probably a bit much. 4. Mark the wood as importable. I should probably separate the warehouse for our weapons and our furniture, if I'm honest. Which actually realistically means we should move that one over there. So you can be the weapon one, and you no longer do iron or weapons. Oh, it's a good mechanic in terms of being a sink for your resources. It's a good way of chewing up, like, your excess money and excess production. But it just takes so long. More iron trading. You could make more units more quickly. I feel like we're on a fairly good pace. Yeah, I think we're on a fairly good pace. Alright, then we want to start, like, making this into a farming zone and setting up our first non-slave laborers. Gonna want more people for that. And actually that one is going to have to move when we bring water down here eventually. That should have been there instead. Let's just mark the iron as not importable then. And once we run out of iron we can move that. Timberborn, you're building a monument. The biggest impact is on it taking long is good throughput, so it's an economic factor, but Egyptian peasants taking years to move a couple of stones is another story. Rome wants higher pay, and the price of pottery collapses. The price of pottery drops by 25. So now we're only making 50 bucks per import-export of pottery. Okay, so we've got 2 real legions, or 2 full javelins and like 2 quarter-filled. We need to make this slightly quicker. I think 1 more of you. And then when this runs out, we kill off that one and leave the space for the water. Will not buy as much oil, and the price of marble goes down. Okay, we've got enough workers that I could lay out this block. The farming block. So how do we want to do it? 2 fit there suspiciously well. But then I wouldn't be able to actually touch that one. And this being precisely the size of our farm is also awkward. You like the grand temples as they give you nice bonuses? They seem to give stupidly powerful bonuses from what I've seen, like counting as every kind of temple and unlimited wine and blah blah blah. But maybe they've been rebalanced. They could well have been rebalanced since I last looked at them. In fact, they almost certainly have. How do I want our... Well, let's actually start higher up. Let's start up there. Okay, then that will need a merged house somewhere along there. Even less oil buying. Both of them drop to 25. How much do we make? 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. So we're basically at capacity now. Had 2 nice merges. This now needs to not catch fire and not explode. Technically that can be that, but I don't want to build really closer to this invasion point. I kind of want to make there my defense line. So I kind of like the idea of making this the granary. We need to leave a space to let the water past. I guess we'll put 2 anti-fire because I'm paranoid about fires. And then we'll look at building this as our first actual people zone. We might shove 1 more legionary up there. Being the dead... This one guards this one guards this one, and you help out either. And that means that now your range dictates where we want to put the housing. So we don't really want the housing to get closer than about here. In fact, I'd even feel a little bit happier at being slightly further away than that. Something like that. Up here can be the sources. Eventually we're going to run the entertainment all the way down to here. My idea is to have a big long linear, one block here, well one linear set of houses here, one linear set of houses that goes here and then around the corner. And then this is where the entertainment dumps along that huge line. Shove down the houses and see who merges. And who deserves death. The iron is still waiting to fully exhaust. Yeah, you probably want to be a market anyway. You've chosen death. You have chosen to be maybe services. Now, I'd like to run this on a hospital. If I can. So that I can start killing off people rather than giving everyone doctor access. One thing that I tend to do is use too many clinics too early, and then end up with demographic issues. And now it's time to actually give them water. Cut through road. Cut through road. Isn't it a temporarily homeless state rather than death? Well, they leave the map, and we've been told there are aggressive natives around. I don't fancy their chances myself. So that's the space that this is going to go down eventually. One little bush is getting in our way. There seems approximately right. Maybe I regret building that so close, we'll see. Phase 1 water. Phase 1 water. Then we need a god. Also, our population has gone up enough that I actually need to build another oracle, or else we start running the risk of the gods getting angry. This would make the most sense to be... It's pretty close to all the military. Let's give them a Mars temple. Yeah. This needs a cut-through road. Otherwise, that's good. So, Mars Temple, there's enough food. Two should be more than enough. Actually, I kind of want that to be a house. So that I can... be a sneaky man and run industries off the houses that way. That does mean I need to find space for the hospital elsewhere. There is suspiciously hospital-shaped. I actually kind of want to move that water one over. Then we can justify both of you. Then conceptually that could actually be here. If not hospital shaped, then why healthcare? We need something that stores the goods for you. And then we need to start storing a minimum amount. So... export over 12. And export over 12 is the new order for those two. And that way these should get all they need to give this upgrade status in the not too distant future. So we've got God, we've got food deliveries, we need edumacation. I wouldn't trust the school children to go much further than that. The bath can have some reasonable range. Oh, and that can't actually be the market, because that needs to be space for the water to go past. So I need to move that. And then we need a library. And then we need a taxman. That's about right. And then we will need a barber. Decreased trading. Even less wine is sellable, and the price of wood, input wood, has gone up. So now it's... I mean, we still make nowhere near as much wine as we could to export, so that's fine. Come on, market ladies, start delivering the food so that these can evolve and we have housing space. Caesar says give me raw vines. Alright. Stockpile instead of use. Go. Apparently, one fireman was not enough. Fine. 2. And even a third fireman. How a bath catches fire. It's mostly water! Anyway. Bath. Redo the housing. Okay, now they claim it's ugly, but we have access to Plaza. You mean, look at it, Jingo. It's clearly stone and water. It's stone and water. There's nothing there that's obviously flammable except that little tree at the back. Okay, now they want entertainment. To which end? It could burn all the furnishings and no one would dare bathe without a nice sofa. Let's make where our entertainment is going to end. It looks like I need slightly more... Well, actually no, because those will fill in and then I'll have temporary workers. So... Prefect... Engineer... Coliseum, okay, I built those one row too close, that's my bad. Lovely. I underestimate how much hypercaust is underground. There are rooms under the pool. Is the underground air or ground flammable? Hi-Fi Panda? I suppose the ground could just barely be flammable if it was like pure coal. Next attack. Real Legion. Get over here. Javelins. Yes. Get over here. Get over here. Now. Prefecture. Engineer post. Oops. I thought I left 3. I did not. Then like that. Gladiator. Lion. And then once you start to exist, which you already have, thankfully, we connect... those two, and now suddenly these people have entertainment. We should also place a amphitheater down here. Ooh, earthquake time. They store the wooden charcoal to burn down there. Okay, there we go. So, earthquake cuts off the natives that I said there's not really a lot of point in trading with anyway. Nope, we're gonna have to back up a bit. Our legions did not arrive quickly enough. Back up a little bit more. Back up a little bit more. Do both parties develop their skills before heading to their destinations? The gladiators train against the lions? If that's the story you want to tell, I'm fine with it. Lovely. Attack repelled. Cost us 2 javelins. The entertainment walkers have begun their long march, which means these now all have entertainment. You still claim the world is ugly. So you could have a statue, or we could actually squeeze oracles in there, because they'd get service off of that road. Sure, why not? Next, we're waiting for the pottery and the chairs to move over. You think things are ugly? Give you some plaza. Very good. Blobber, where are my legions? This legion isn't finished being built yet. I need to turn back on the iron import is the reason there. I was an idiot and forgot to turn that back on. So we were trying to drain that so that we were leaving space. I didn't want to delete iron that was inside a building that was currently in use. And one day when we need water here in the future, there's now the capacity to have water here. Get back the third weapons workshop. Alright, you claim the world is ugly. No, you claim there's no water. I don't really want to give you a second water, but I guess I'll be generous enough to do so. Now you claim the place is ugly. Have a statue. And then you need food. Alright, that's about right. The donkeys are eating this pottery, not letting it move across, so I think it's time to say we no longer sell the pottery. Or else we mark... No, this actually should be the one that they trade at first. It is the trade center. Leave it on for a bit more. Wait for this to get fully full and then see if it's still a problem. Now... what else? Do we start the second block? So I wanted to do one here that comes down this way and uses the rest of this existing entertainment walker line. What I should do first is move the water down, because everything else is dependent on getting this water around there. No, no cheaty water. Real water or bust. I don't particularly like the cheaty water. Okay, let's have a look at that. We probably want one here, if we're being realistic. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Honestly, there also seems fairly sane. Oh, yeah. Now we can have housing all the way along this, pretty much. Only the tiniest bit here doesn't work, and it actually doesn't reach that one, which is sad. But the fountain will. Seems like a pretty big map. It's a fairly sizable map. But then again, we've got to get 8,000 people in. 8k is no tiny amount of people. Feel like I'd feel slightly safer with one more prefect there. Alright, and we start looking at this. So it looks like that road's about where we would want it. I am going to want one more real legion up this side. I might even be able to cheatily block... No, we can't block that off. You're still going there. And then we want to create this that feeds down this way. And then the question is, do we put these ones here, or do we let them be part of this extra food? I'm going to commit to there. That's far more people than this, so I could actually start the next thing, but I also want the, like, space that we're actually going to use on the food making marked out. Okay, so it looks like the road should go, like, there. And then anything below this is valid to have housing. We don't want to block off the entrance there. And we will want goods over here for these to evolve. We won't want this all to burn down. We won't want it to fall over. Let that exist. Now, please say you're finally getting the pottery, sorry. Yes, they're finally getting the pottery. And now we're starting to have enough people that I could delete the temporary laborers. So if you're an ugly unmerged tent, we will begin purging you. The price of pottery goes down again. We're now making basically no money if we import-export pottery. So, yeah, nah. No more selling the pottery. Rome says pay more. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot to actually send you your requested vines. There you go. Turn back on no longer stockpiling. That's on me. Yeah, we've got 30 years left. It's got a nice long timer. The real issue is favor, right? Which I should actually start paying myself a modest salary and bribing Caesar every year. looks pretty good. And then probably one down this end. I guess we'll reserve that for services. That works suspiciously well. I kind of want to put it here rather than there. But I'll put it where I should. Then we give these guys plaza. Alright. We can delete off a whole bunch more of the temporary tents. These then need God. What God makes the most sense? They're near the big farming zone, so they can have a series. They will need a school, vaguely in the middle. And those guys didn't want to merge. That should be about enough to start. So entertainment walkers are running by, they've got education, and they should have a god now. Assuming this god goes down at least some of the time. At the moment it's decided to go up. Could you go down, please? There we go. This attack, you are the front line of defense for that. You are the second line of defense. You get over here as well. No, that feels about right. Okay, move up to directly behind the legions. 1 row of wall, 2 row of shoot. Various price changes. What did we have? We had iron more expensive, so filling out the rest of our legions costs more. Go home. Go home. Go home. Okay, now these guys say no barber. We give them a barber. And then it's time to actually start taxing. We get rid of probably this whole set of fake people. Yep. I don't know about all of those yet. We're going to want 1 granary here. Probably 2 even, actually. For grabbing grain from the other end. Something like that. Shove in a little bit of housing here. That needs to be a space for water. but that could be housing. Make sure it doesn't burn down or explode. And that probably means I can get rid of this. We probably even want another one of these storage for goods. We'll see. All one vaguely here. Yeah, we are going to need one here. Maybe Douglas Adams played this game, so one of the lads dragging his sack of belongings is an inspiration for Dent Arthur Dent. There. You think the world is ugly. I'm not really willing to do too much that's much closer than about there, because otherwise we start getting in the way of the natives going when they attack, destroying stuff. Okay, you claim the world is ugly. We could give you a statue here. Our population is probably getting high enough that we need to think about the next set of... Yeah, the next set of oracles. And one thing that would help these guys think the world is less ugly is a backing row of oracles. So, like... Oracle. I guess Oracle? Kind of thought I'd be able to fit more there. I guess if we do either side of that, we can have it there. And then this needs not to blow up or burn down. That should keep things pretty for these guys. Now we actually do have running out of food issue, so we need to set up this food. No longer can I delay. I don't like that one. I prefer it there. You're from France? This is your favorite childish game? Don't stress, your English is a lot better than my French, mate. We had to... If this was relying on me speaking French at you, we'd be screwed. I might have thought we'd be able to squeeze another one in there, but... I suppose 10 more isn't a trivial amount. And then the only question is, do these succeed at A handful of eggs are ready to picnic in your stomach. You'll go help them along? Yeah, have a lovely picnic. 2 no explode, 2 no burn down, 1 no explode. And we will maybe try and see if we can get one house there to guarantee labor support. That should also chew up all our new spare workers. You don't actually touch the road. I can't really change that in a way that lets us grab you. Where are we from? We're from Australia, mate. Every ESL person that you've heard say, sorry, my English isn't good, has better English than most natives. Yeah, that's a really sad amount of extra ones to squeeze in. Maybe rather than a loop, we turn it into a line? I could squeeze in 1 more that way. I'm just slightly worried the labor access wouldn't spread from there to here. We'll see. We'll see how much food this... If this is not enough food, we might re-optimize this. Okay. You need to fetch. You need to fetch. You're waiting for food to propagate through. Your English is from school. So you think it's just more literal? If I have trouble understanding you, I'll ask. It's not a big deal. They need a taxman and a bath. Taxman. Bath. And then they would like a hospital. And honestly, a hospital would fit scarily well there. Lovely. Zoom, 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 zoom. Then they say we want furniture. We wait for the market ladies to grab the furniture. You don't actually seem to have grabbed anything so far, which is a bit sad. How go the legions filling out? You're almost finished. You are finished. You are finished. You are finished. But we've still got 2 empties. Taking its sweet time. We're up to 3,000 pop. We are making money again. Last year we were losing money because we didn't have tax on. People love us. I can start killing off more of the temporary workers. Hell, we can probably just kill that whole block. Yes. Okay, what's your issue? The school is doing things on the wrong side? No, 100% of the school children go north. Okay, well, the school will have to move then. The school can go there instead. Stupid school children. Please, at least some of you go south. Yeah, that's better. The price of input pottery goes up even more. I'll give you a well, because I'm very nice. Guess I'm going to be nice enough to give you a well, and you a well. Do I give you a well? Am I so nice as to do that? I guess I will be. Okay. We can start trimming away some of these. Do we play in Sandbox? I am not aware of a Sandbox mode. This is a custom level. So, I can even link you. There's like a fan site where people post the levels that they make, and we're playing the newest level from that. Okay, you say you need a library now. That is a nice library spot. And then we also need a bath. Oh no, we've already got a bath, my bad. We do not need a bath. And then they're going to need a barber. Could go there and then have one here and then like one there. See how that goes. Hell, that one's actually fantastic. Screw this one. We don't need you, friend. This is almost ready. It has furniture. We actually kind of need to stop exporting oil. So now it's only marble and wine. And you also no longer accept vines. We need to burn through those spare vines. So I guess I'll run one extra winery for a while. And we stop exporting oil literally just before the price of oil collapses some. So we picked the right time to get out of the market. Now we want these people to become real people. So there, and then... Then they will need a market. Like one more. Well, only the sharks. Only the sharks are like big savage animals. The roos, well, and the cassowaries are pretty big. Cassowaries are pretty big. We want to give this stuff plaza. But those are like the two. Now the bath, does it come all the way down here? It does, except for that house. Which means all we need is a god, another school. How far does the other school get? Far enough is the answer. School. A library. Our spiders are massive. We had a spider on stream just yesterday, Fexane. Do I really consider... I'm willing to grant you Australia-hood, Jingo. I'm that generous. This end probably deserves a Venus. Alright. God, school. You've already got butler. The bath was already doing everything. You need a taxman. And then other than that, we squeeze in more people. No? What's happened to the bathhouse? Why is she not doing their job? Says they're doing their job. I kind of need to blow you up so the other two expand properly. You appear to be having pottery stress. So that just says we need another one of these. Fine. I didn't know whether I wanted to put one here, but we'll put another one here. And this is the emergency. So in case this or this one wears out, there's spare there. Your southeast Queensland, not far north. It's practically a different state. Jingo wants Carpentaria and Queensland to be separate. I think it was Carpentaria. Caesar is grumpy at us. I send him a gift. And this is what as I said, this map is rough for favor. We'll have 1 month of full pay. And then I will turn off my pay. Now that's awkward, but at least none of my real buildings are here. We're gonna have to abandon this temporarily. Turn off that pay. And we're just gonna have to fiddle with the pay every year. Because it's a tedious level that doesn't give you at least clerk level allowance. You need a bit more plaza there. Possibly there. Good. There needs to be space for the water to get out. The sugarcane farmers can go ruin someone else's state. blow up you. I'd throw more shade, but we did just have Ms. Hansen do frighteningly well here, so... Honestly, maybe we migrate the weapons from in here to this loop, so that this is actually doing something else useful. You even got Kada? President of Carpentaria. Caesar says give me wine, which I can do. We need to increase how much we store of this. And actually we're not going to succeed at having that at the moment. So I need to rebuild the ones that I was abandoning for fear of Caesar's imminent legions. And we'll just delete them again just before, well, just when Caesar arrives. Let that food flow through. I question it. These look empty, but they're empty because this is full, and these houses were leveling up. I'm not sure I think they are actually genuinely empty. We can get rid of these and save a bit of labor. That lets us kill off some of the temporary laborers. No, you need to wait for 16 now, because Caesar demands a silly amount of wine. And then in what month is he pissed off at us? January. So in about November I want to move our army over. And we eat... Yeah, I've had crocodile. It's very chickeny, would be my... How does it taste? It's chickeny. Okay, everyone go back home. Third one of you, and then we need a warehouse for you. Well, actually, you can use that warehouse for the moment, yeah. Okay, these say that there's no health. So the hospital doesn't reach here. I'm willing to give some of them a doctor. I'm so generous. And I'm willing to give you water. Price of iron goes up for running our legions. Caesar says, "Where's my marble? You were late." We send him his marble. It's also time to get the armies in place for beating back the legions. So... get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Oh, was that someone saying we're paying too much in tax? No, people love me. That's fine. We can send Caesar the wine. Yeah, this is now all working nice. Aside from desirability for you. But we need to leave space for the water to get out. Which I actually haven't done. Oops. Water moves to there, and... there. Then we get rid of that one. Yeah, that works just barely. Although we'll have to kill you. And that leaves space for the water to get out. Now, the water needs to get to there. Is there an Australian beer that you can recommend? That you could find in Europe? Not especially. There's a lot of very cheap brands, is the way I would put it. And there aren't terribly many. Like, a lot of the nicer brands are either like Japanese import or like Japanese brand rather than actual Australia brand. There we go. You need a cut-through road. It's a bunny-ish. We could just put an oracle there. That seems like the most reasonable answer later. Let's clear out this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And the rest of the space up here. We've got our cut-through road. Let's see that new water connection. Lovely. We actually have so much oil. But we'll just set the export to be like over 32. So 8, 16, 24, 32. But any in excess of that you may buy. Oh? Health is too low. I did too good a job of not using clinics now. Okay. Well, we can fix that. I just don't want too much clinic, which is my normal problem. Guess I'll allow one there. Here are the legions. Just in case you are emergency needed. We can also send Caesar his bribe in 1 month. We need to blow that up. And that one. Please stop going this way. Thank you. Okay, we repel the legions and earn Caesar's respect. Everyone go back home. We then send him a nice bribe. And we need to redo any of these that burnt down that... especially the ones running the industries. So, you rehouse. You rehouse. You 100% rehouse. And you rehouse. Everything else seems to have survived. Caesar says thank you for the wine. And now we want more people here. You say it's ugly? I say large statue. You're waiting for furniture, but that's fine. This is doing its job. I think we could trade you out to there and have one more warehouse stockpile. Just so if this end ever runs out, it shouldn't. Because now it's got 2. I think one more market would be sane. And then the rest of this now needs to be housing. You don't actually cover very many. Well, no, you do cover a second house there, so fine. That one. There. And how do we get one here? That. Hey, Alaka Turbo. G'day, g'day. Re-exist you. Don't know how you've managed to not do your job. Deliver the iron! Right, you've got one job to do. Deliver that, and then you're done. You are needed over here. So are you. You can wait there. And you can wait here. I guess that means you could actually yoink the marble across. Ow. One statue isn't too bad. Rebuild the one statue, and then we're happy. In fact, we could be sneaky and shove it as an oracle instead. Caesar says, send me some oil. Can do. This is almost done. Okay, you don't need to exist anymore. This then needs to move over here, once it's trained to that last legion. Caesar says thank you for the oil. The legion is trained. You move over here. And then you have a constant supply, thank you. That is going to lead to massive increase in army. That should fill out both of them. You say the world is ugly. I don't really want to give you more, because I kind of maybe want to put more population here with the loop. So... I might have to use one, or we could plan that loop, and then see if we can squeeze in a, squeeze in the extra. There. I might even make these fancier houses. Like, I could run a loop that goes from here, up, across, down, across, up. So, shoot, 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 shoot. Or we could set up this one. I wanted to create some food here that then feeds one more population block here, and use that population to run some patricians eventually. We really need a second market lady here, sadly. I don't think filling these couple in with houses is going to be enough to realistically run patricians. So I think I do need to set up this one first. Something like that. It's a little bit annoying that I can't get both of those. You can move back a square and then that works. Whew. Whose other works do I favor? So for... I kind of want to let people move through here if I can, but I can't seem to get that to happen. Prefector, Prefecture, Engineer. At the moment... Wildbow, I like Wildbow. They did Pact, and they did Worm, and they did the other one, although the newest one has kind of fallen off a cliff. What else? Erratic Errata. They did... What was their first one? A Practical Guide to Evil, and now they're doing... What's the new one called? I forget the name already. Pale Lights. Chrono is a big fan of Worm. Yeah, the Worm is nice. It has a nice cast of, like, there are lots and lots of side characters, but they do a good job of actually having fairly reasonable motivation. Okay, at least this isn't burning down. Although, this doesn't seem to be managing to get labor. So I'll shove it there instead. There we go. Okay, then this has food and we can make a block here. How is the block here going to work? It's going to be... the Colosseum and thing will be over here, and the block will come up, zigzag, come back down, go through our industry district, and then pop out that way. In fact, popping out the backside of there... if that works for where the Colosseum goes, that would be about perfect. I might need to make those plaza for you. Something like that. How many people can we support? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28. Each one of those is about 3 and a bit of these. So we'll just shove down everything and see what reasonably sticks. We're definitely going to want a granary somewhere in the middle, because else it's going to be too far for the market ladies to go. That looks about right. The oil has all gotten sold, and we need to wait a bit. Someone was unhappy. But the people like me. In fact, we kind of need to up the tax rate for a little bit. Giga tax. We'll hold a festival to counteract our giga tax. You say I need the world to be prettier. Kind of willing to shove that there for you. Good. You... yes, you're fetching food once there are people. Shove down the more people. See which ones stick, and then kill the rest and turn them into services. Maybe one more, because I'm super paranoid about fires on desert maps. 4 here is really too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough and everything burnt down. How go the army? Full legion, full legion. The skirmishers have still suffered some losses. Skirmishers have still suffered some losses, and those 2 legions are almost full now. Price of wood goes up. You go away, and apparently you go away. Look at all that row of perfect merges there. That's fantastic. Check our city health. Health is a little bit too good, but not too good. Only a little bit too good. You needed water. Good. You think the world is ugly. I'm willing to give you a single statue. Lovely. That has failed and should probably be a block of the services then. At least that bit. Okay, and then what services do we need? Well, we need to leave some space here because this is where the entertainment walkers are going to live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then you can have a market. This end needs a market. And somewhere in the middle would like a market. There? Probably there. You can be where all of the fancy goods are. We've got enough people now that we can run the Colosseum. How do we squeeze you in here? Like that. And then the amphitheater. And then you two need to not explode. Done. And then we can have the lions and the gladiators for this block. Beautiful. Start giving them water. Partially hospital, partially doctor, or are we gonna... No, partially hospital, partially doctor, I think. So like that. We need bath. I kind of like the idea of leaving that square open to be the road. So bath, library... We'll want 2 schools. A taxman. And what temple are we up to? Neptune and Mercury. Mercury there might do everything we need. Start giving these guys more water. Unfortunately, we need 2 here. But such is life. Actually, if you're there, then I can get away with... Not really. I can get away with that, though, and then technically we could squeeze a house there if we really have to. Yeah. This should do a bit better than the other two, because it doesn't have as far, like... This is probably the closest to all 3 of the primary goods of all our fetching markets. These 2 are the furthest away. Or maybe you. Yeah, actually, it's probably that one. But this one should have a relatively easy time. It's at least really close to the pottery and oil and only a medium-ish distance to the furniture. These guys need plaza. Whoop, 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 whoop. An attack, but now we have 2 full legions here, so we should be pretty safe. Three full legions by the time you get there. 4 full legions, yeah. It's hard to imagine that losing, even if the last couple of skirmishes haven't refilled yet. People complain about the high taxes, which is fair. We did Taximus Maximus. Drop it back down to 12. Actually, we'll do 8 for a couple of months. Okay, pretty minimal losses. 1 legionary, as far as I can tell. All those axemen didn't do very much. Caesar says, give me 20 wine. Up how much we store. And we'll wait 2 months, and then in the start of the year we'll do some more fiddling with our salary to send him a gift. Okay, you want some more beauty. 2 large statues. Now you're going to complain about no barber. But I kind of don't want to give a barber until this was a bit more full. But... whatever. 2 barbers. Where will the second barber live? That should probably be a service. I guess there. Alright, then that means that needs water now. Something like that. Then we say, you don't deserve to exist. Neither do you, neither do you. I will allow you and assume that you merge. Caesar's wine is ready. Send him his wine. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a second one of those. I could put it there. Actually, no. These can get direct access to the furniture and pottery if they need it. So they don't need a second getting warehouse. I wouldn't mind an oracle there. Caesar doesn't have wine, but he has plenty of whinging. That can also have an oracle. And then that would mean that these ones could become a separate... only for the marble one. Done. Yeah, that looks good. Do people love me yet? Yeah, they're pleased enough with me that we can put the tax rate back up. We were going to do 2 months of fiddling with our salary, because we don't even get the most basic amount of salary. People's pay goes up in Rome, so people expect us to pay more here. 2 more bucks. You say the world is ugly. How about a nice statue on the hill? Fixes you. You say the world is ugly. You can have a downhill statue as well. Now you're waiting for the market ladies to do their job. That's just going to take a little bit of time. They're mostly obsessed with feeding all these people. And then as these fill in, we probably have enough people to start running the patrician block. So we should start gathering the patrician food. Which means you explode. Barely damaged our... It only cost us 20 people to delete all those buildings. So like... 1, 2, 3... 3 and 6? 1, 2... 3, 4, 5. I need to squeeze in one more. Patrician's food, eat the rich. I need one more. Come on. Game doesn't want me to have it. I guess it's being you then. Something like that. Shove down some people and see what sticks. Some of these people even turn around. Fill it up immediately. You'll do. You'll do. Make sure this doesn't explode. Make sure it doesn't burn down either. Get it stocked and ready for the patricians. So, pottery, furniture, oil, and wine. Which means it's probably about time to up our you, or possibly just don't sell you at all. Yeah, let's go back to not selling you at all. If I readjust this road slightly, I can fit a second oracle in there to fix that house. Okay, then these need to actually put food into something. Wheat. No, that will work fine. Wheat and fruit. Some sort of price collapse. Marbles price collapses even further. It now sells for basically nothing. To the point where I don't know that I even want to make it. Let's just abandon you. Haximus Maximus again for a bit. Have a baby festival to keep people from going troppo while we tax them out the wazoo. We need to squeeze in a little more prettiness here. Technically that works, while still leaving place for a house in the future. Check that this area is paying their taxes. Yes, basically everyone pays their taxes. That farmer doesn't. This farmer doesn't. These farmers and industry don't. And this industry doesn't. Kind of need to wait a little bit. A distant Roman city is threatened. That wants 1 legion and 1 legion and 1 skirmisher. Actually, let me double check that. It was an average force. Caesar 3 maths. There's my maths sheet. That could actually need two legions. Oh no, we don't know how big it is. Yeah, I still think sending 1 of each is sensible. So I'll do the snakes and the rabbits. Oh no, here we go. It is average. I knew it. I knew it somehow. Average. So average must be less than 90. A fully powered legion is 50, and a non-legion is... Non-legion is 30, and then a legion is like 50. So that's 80, 90. Yeah. So 1 of each is perfect. We said the rabbits. And what was the other one? What have the Romans ever done for us? The snakes. There you go. Turn off my pay. I left it on for too long. Give back 400 to the city. Send Caesar a ludicrous bribe. I suppose I could allow myself 2 more months of pay and then we'll micro it off. So in September we want to turn off our pay. We've got too much unemployment now. Time to create workforce absorbance until we set up the patricians. There. Otherwise people get pissed that there's too much unemployment. Don't want to pay their taxes. This seems to be handling the amount of people we've given it, so we could give it a little bit more. I need to leave that space open. I wanted 1 here. Actually, there works really well. Well, no, there is fine, because that one already covers there, and then there. So that's 5 extra houses. That's like almost 400 extra people, let's say. We might actually need to increase this now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You look fine. 5 and 5 should be enough. Our salary has covered this year's bribery money. I don't know how you've possibly run out of furniture. There's tons of furniture there. This lady has furniture. That lady has furniture. You should be having no problems. You say the world is ugly. I guess we're forced to give you a medium statue. There. Okay. Pottery price goes down, which is irrelevant, because we can't export pottery. Right. Oh no. We can sell spare pottery. No, but the price had collapsed, right? It was not worth... Yeah, it's not worth selling. We pay more to import the clay than sell the pottery, so no. Wait a little bit for those and for some more money. Let's have a look at the year's money. How have we done? Technically, we've lost money, which seems insane. That's crazy, considering how long we've been on super tax, but if that is what it is. A lot of it was construction. We're not going to have to do this construction again. We did like $5,000 of construction, so we're $5,000 ahead. Yes, one becomes one, Pro Grumbler. One clay becomes one pottery. Okay, this is all full. I reckon we're rich enough to start setting up this. We will want one more water, though I don't know how much. Where are we going to connect you? I should probably connect you inside there. And then how are we going to have the patrician block? Something like that. It needs to be big enough to fit the Colosseum at the back. Oh, I kind of like there. Amphitheater. We can only go up to size 3x3 patricians on this map because there's not a third type of food. Or at least there wasn't. Yeah, there's no third type of food. Can we cover 2 statues with our water? Yes. But then that's kind of awkward. I'll say la vie. So that's your water dealt with. Bring water up there to water these people. Lovely. Okay. We can have an extra person there and an extra person there. And then we need services. Lion and Gladiator to run these. These need to not explode. Here looks like a nice place to do that. 2 not explode. Engineer. Doctor. Barber, I trust you to go around once. Let that fill in. Trim back maybe 2 of those. That was just complaining about no employees. Then we need some gods and a bath. Bath. 1 market down the far corner. 1 market there and maybe like 1 here. Feels about right. This is all going to want to be plaza. Two more months, then we start getting ready to hold our festival. You need more services yet. We'll hold out on the doctor. Two threes fit perfectly there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 threes fit perfectly there. You could be services. That's a 3. 3, 3, 3. So one of those doesn't quite fit. So we can do 3, 3, 2. 3. Yeah, that works. So 3, 3. No, I've screwed that up somehow. 3. That should be 4. Did I count wrong? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 4. So no, you get nothing there. We need an academy. You need a school on each corner. Because the school children are not to be trusted. You need a taxman. Could I squeeze in a senate just for opulence? Not reasonably, no. We'll see. Maybe at the very end I can squeeze in an extra senate. Instead of some of what we've got. You need a library. Caesar says, send me oil. Done. $48 is the new number. Oh, but we're not exporting any, so that's fine. Are we up to running that festival? 1 more month. Also, can we send Caesar a new bribe? Not yet. Now we may schedule the festival. Keep taxing at the maximum. You are going to want Plaza 2 out there. Local attack. And Caesar says thank you for the oil. This army is gone. You two. You get down here as well. You get over here as well. Yeah. Turn around and face the right way. Because facing matters. You've reached 5,000! Are we up to the correct number of... Yeah, we've got enough oracles to make 5,000 fine. We repel that attack and we send everyone home. So we don't get overwhelmed with attacks whilst our army's away helping out. Now they want religion. 1, 2... 3... I kind of like that for maybe being another patrician. 4... 5. Can't complain about not enough gods. We might trim back some of them later. Too many unemployed again. Are there more services that you need? Academy. Library. Schools. Check. Entertainment, check. Hospital. Not check. Hospital. Doctor, barber... No, that should be everything, now that we've given you gods. So watch these go whoop, 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 whoop. We should lose a little bit when these guys transform. Yeah, the bath is getting everywhere. You complain about ugliness. So we give you a nice big statue. And an oracle. Kind of planning to put another oracle here anyway. That's gonna fluctuate our population up, but then it will go back down once they realize that they can have wine. There we go. They start drinking the wine. You claim no access to bathhouse, so we delete you off and let the other thing expand instead. You claim still ugly. Yeah, we could move things. This, and this could move here. Then we erase those. And instead you get 2 oracles. Then you have no justification for claiming the world is ugly. Really? You still claim the world is ugly? That's amazing. Maybe the hospital is doing a bit much for you. Let's flip those. You don't exist there. And then we could delete that hospital and see if that helps you. Surprisingly not. Well, I guess we just put one more big statue. There we go. Even then they claim it's ugly. Holy heck. You can have some small statues. Good. Now you want more entertainment. So what, you want a theatre, you say? Barely willing to give you a theatre? I'd prefer if you span round here rather than going and giving plays to the farms. We'll see if it behaves sensibly or if we need to move it. I could move it down to the far corner. We do, after all, have way too many temples here. No, you're being stupid. Okay, which temple do we erase? That one. Much better. You can have it that now. That means we need 2 small statues. Where is this new attack? It's not that corner. It's not that corner. It's not that corner. It's this corner. Bring the legions over. The backing of ranged units. We could sell a little bit more oil again, as long as we mark you as the primary one to sell. Our army that was sent away succeeds. Apparently it's also time to hold a new festival. Okay. Invasion slaughtered. We lost a couple of legionaries, but not too much. You claim the world is ugly. Kind of hard to give you another statue. I could give you one. Okay, and then we can fill in you. And you. I can't have anything there. Which kind of makes me want to put the hospital back there if it doesn't cause this to suddenly become too ugly. Which it doesn't seem to be doing. Enemies at the door. So we lost 3 legionaries there. But everyone else survived perfectly. Boost up our fake work jobs. You want more prettiness. More inclined to give you a oracle there than anything else. Even that isn't enough. But that might be. There we go. And then we can put water down there and another house there. Not quite enough work. Delete some of our fake work. These aren't being stable. We'll have to watch why they devolved next time. We could shove more people here and set up this loop. We kind of have unlimited money to work with now. Now that the patricians are up and starting to be taxed. Yeah. We could even dial that tax rate down to a number that doesn't make people cry. I think we can technically squeeze one more pit? No. Yes, legally a person could exist here. That's a little bit empty. Yeah, we'll wait. If that fills up, maybe. Wait for these to evolve. Gorgeous. Now you, and this one, please. Lovely. Now you. Lovely. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 4 supplementary lesser patricians. If we really wanted to, we could try and squeeze one more in here. I just need another water. Like that. Actually, no. You can go there. Just in case you claim that the Colosseum is too ugly, we'll give you one more statue. And that's perfect. Yeah. local uprising? Ugh. You get over here now, please. Same with you. The pajama people are scary because they move so quickly. As long as they don't cut off our water, we should be okay. They tried to get our water. Clear. Caesar would like what? Some more marble. And we can send him a new bribe. We're allowed a super triumphal arc because our army came back successfully. Do you claim it's too ugly? You claim no hospital, but the hospital will do its round. There. Beautiful. If we really wanted, we could try and squeeze one there. But let's just let this fill up first, because I'm actually slightly worried about the food. This supplies 900, approximately times 2, so 1800. Each one of these is about 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, no, we should be... Yeah, actually, that should run out. We've got about 1,300 people worth of patricians here, but only 900. We said 900 times 2. 1,800 food. So no, we're still okay. We should be allowed to have one more. So go. Oh my god, all of you are devolving? Because we make too much pottery here. That's an interesting problem. Well, you don't accept pottery anymore. And we turn off our pottery for a while. Alright. How's tax? Do we need to re-tax? No, we're in a profit. And then we just need to squeeze in another 2,000-ish people. And we are done. Which we will try and do with the loop that we're planning to go sort of vaguely here. As well as the extra people here once we fill in those houses. The army that's back from the wars, one of them is a bit damaged, the other one is okay. Please change your direction. tempt the last group forwards. Lovely. Go back home, all of you. Alright. Distant battle, that's fine. We start setting up this. So, what are we going to want? We're going to want 2 granaries. To come across. Something like that. Which means now this side can have plaza. Or do we feed these people only grain, rather than make them mixed Grand Insulae? I was thinking of making them Grand Insulae. We don't have any Grand Insulae. I would like some. I think we try and make this mixed. We also need to plug in the water, because the water kind of has to come first. You can die and move to there. Cut through road, cut through road. Water for the new zone. Looks good. Make sure this doesn't burn down. And then we want, like, 3 of this. Those can be extra oracles for making this pretty if we need to be. And then, like, 6 fruit. Oh, that was going to go back 1 more square because of the aqueduct taking up space. Mr. Panda, that's what you're here for, some Caesar. G'day, Mr. Panda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have seen your map, and I might get around to playing that map in some time. But this was one that Palmer had specifically asked me to check for them, so they asked me to test it, so we test it. Yeah, that should be plenty. Let that fill in. Then we are going to want workforce, which means temporarily deleting some of our fake people, our fake jobs. What's your issue? You don't actually have an issue. We make sure that you stay boxed in the future instead of being stupid. Same with you. Looking forward to some feedback. You have more in the works. I'm very happy to hear it. I'm surprised that the pottery amount hasn't gone down. We've had a whole year with pottery turned off. Caesar says, where's my marble? I up how much we store. This isn't yet starting to run out of food, which we think it should eventually. Okay, you claim that it's ugly. We can fix that by shoving down some oracles for you. Boom. You are a bit harder to fix. I guess I could shove one oracle there. You still say the world is ugly. That's kind of amazing. We could give you a big statue as well. There. And a small statue in that space. That's easily lots of people. We need to re-expand the fake jobs. Check our tax for the year. Yeah, but no more building, basically. Game says wait to do some more building. Wait for the start of next year. Slight unemployment, but these houses are still filling in. Finally, the pottery is starting to clear up a bit. Yeah, enough that we're willing to turn it back on. Even if that means killing a fake job. Speed up, wait for next year. Probably stop selling oil at all now. We make enough patrician money that the hassle of having oil not move around as we'd want it is not worth the loss, potentially, of the patricians collapsing like that. You shouldn't be able to run out of oil. You have an oil there. So that says that they really want another market. This isn't Panda's. This is Palmer's map. Blow those up. They've de-evolved in an awkward way. So we just blow up the edges and wait. And we'll think about replacing one more of the temples. Because technically they only need like 3 gods. So... I could blow up a Mars, and make it an extra market, and that would help keep things that little bit more stable. Alright, we have tons of money to work with. Let's start laying out this location. Something like that. Where all the services live here, and then the people live in the bits with the water. No explode. No burn down. Doctor and barber fit neatly there. We should go check our health. Our health is too good. I should blow up one of these healths if I can. Can't see where it's supplied from though. It must be here. Ah, there. That helps fix some of that health. Could we give you a hospital somehow? If I blow up that house and move this Venus temple here, you could become a hospital. And then we could kill the clinic that's down here. Try and drag our health back down to average. Emperor wants some oil. How fortunate that we just stopped selling oil. Sure thing, friend. 2 months for that marble is right on the edge, but we'll get there. And then we want some houses here. So, corner house. Corner house. That should be enough to provide it with the labor supply while we fill in all the other stuff. There's Caesar's marble with 1 month to spare. Now, how do we get entertainment walkers for these guys? The lazy way would be to do that. I don't want to touch this or this, because then it might affect that market lady and that hospital. We don't really want to get much further away than that, or the labor walkers might have trouble. So then we shove down Gladiator Lion. The nice upside here is that when they attack from here again, these gladiators and lions will actually help. You. You. Yes, they all successfully found labor. Speaking of attacks from here that those gladiators and lions will help with, it's almost like it's scripted. you. And then you. And finally, you. Who are we fighting? The local desert people who are the Axemen. So they have really good attack, but not the best health or defense. They have really spectacularly high attack. You go flank from the high ground and tempt them to come actually attack. When do we get drug sniffer jaguars and patrolling lions? I'd be a lot more intimidated by the drug sniffing agents if they had a jaguar rather than a cute doggo. Not gonna lie. Water for you, water for you. Two markets should probably be enough. We do need a warehouse with all the goods, and ideally it should live right next to you. You need a god. We're up to Ceres or Neptune. This is a farming area, so Ceres makes sense. We need a library, we need a tax office. We'll wait on the bath. School, I'm a little... That should probably reach everyone. Delete some of the fake people. Delete some more of the fake people. Yeah, that school reaches everyone. Beautiful. Give them plaza. We need to wait for that to charge up. But then we're pretty done. This still isn't running out of food. We'll see if the new market can support that extra patrician house that collapsed before. You aren't needed anymore now that we've erased those. Might end up with the same thing, yeah, happening here where the furniture overwhelms this. So we'll change this out to be the other way around. You briefly fetch pottery and accept the spare pottery. And then you accept neither. You're just for oil. We'll move these to the other side. And that way, the solution to our oil and pottery overflow problems can just be an oil and pottery warehouse here. So now that one's just oil, and this is the pottery and furniture. This looks pretty good. 2 food, education, entertainment. We're just waiting for the goods warehouse to do its job. It wouldn't... Slightly tempting to put a second one down as an emergency. Yeah, you know what? That space is fine. Have a second one so that if this one isn't doing its job right, the other one gets the... catches that condition. You are unstable again. Clear off 2 of you. Check how the tax is doing for the year. It's a bit borderline. Although, a fair bit of that was tribute. Filling up on oil. It's a bit sad for you to fill up on 1 oil. Could you maybe go do the pottery that we have tons of? And the furniture? I mean, it's not going to hurt, so... You and you can fill in. And we're actually having too many people again. Although we're towards the end of the year, and at the end of the year we're going to have more people age out. What's going wrong with you? The school is no longer touching you? These school children only go north now. Then we'll swap the school and the tax office. See what that does for us. Now that school only goes south. Okay, what if we... There's not a lot of other places that we can swap. The market can. There we go. Now the school children go in both directions. Lovely. So they've successfully fetched oil. They should be doing... You're doing furniture now. You're doing them in the wrong order. But I guess that means once they go up, they're just going to go up, 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 up. You need to die. You claim the world is ugly, so we'll give you a medium statue. You still claim the world is ugly. I don't really want to give you that large statue. I'm willing to put one there to counteract the hospital, but that's it. Yeah, now you claim no barber. Which is fine. This guy should come south eventually, right? Or do you need me to move you, friend? No, you're only going north now. Fine, you can go there. New year, and sadly that didn't eat up enough of our population aging out, so we need to make some more fake work. Form up. Form up. Form up. You probably won't actually get here in time for the fight. We'll see. You, we maybe use as encouragement for the others to attack. Does city population fall a bit every time the lions walk through the housing area? No. The lion tamers do their job well, and they ensure the lions don't eat anyone. After all, it is the most sought-after job in the city. They have to make sure to do a good job. Everyone can go back home now. Yeah, if we can find an immigrant coming in.
I've heard there are jobs here. I want to be a lion tamer.
There we go. I've heard there are jobs here. He wants to be one of the lion tamers. Hey, Kindwin. Are you finally fetching the pottery? Looks like. If you don't get eaten immediately, you've got a 1-week trial period. If you're not eaten, you get to keep the job. Okay, here's the pottery, which then means they need baths. Which is the one service that actually does need to be within water range. Caesar would like some fruit. I mean, we have spare fruit here. I just don't want to give you a workshop, a warehouse. But I guess we grin and bear it. Or, could I get some fruit production over here in the last little bit of this? Not really reasonably. So we'll actually keep what we did there. You can briefly accept fruit. You finally realized why each fort has a small offset? Yes. It's so that you can't use them as walls. So, like, I'm trying to use them as a wall here, except that the bad guys teleport through it. Right? This is currently walling off this area. If I try and tell my guys to walk over there, they cannot. I'm shocked that the bathhouse lady hasn't gone north. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now they say the world is too ugly. We could give them our triumphal arc. I think that way is prettier. And they say, oh my god, the world's super beautiful. A third market? That seems a bit excessive. But to get them all up and running, we'll have a third, and then maybe we'll kill it off once they're stable. There's Caesar's fruit. We can delete this warehouse. Put down extra housing. Well, actually, no. I should wait until that other house is evolved before I do that. Caesar says thank you for the fruit. Where is this new attack? Am I blind? Ah, it's this edge. You're meant to face the other direction. I said you're meant to face the other direction. One of the legions actually got destroyed there. We actually had some losses. Yeah, 2 of the legions were destroyed. But we have a nice full supply of weapons for replenishing, so it's not really a bother. Beam me across the fort, Scotty. Two of those legions pretty ravaged. But it does replenish nice and quickly. Okay, now we can build that one. This edge probably does need a bit of beautification. So I'll put a big statue there. Now, why aren't the market ladies? Oh my god, they're both wheat. I'm an idiot. Exclamation mark idiot. I was certain I set one of those to be fruit. There we go. I was so certain that I'd set one of those to be fruit. We have too many spare workers. We need more pretend work. You need more water. There. You claim that the health doesn't reach you. So we need one of the clinics to be down here, you say? Sure. A second clinic. A doctor for every house. Second food still needs to flow through, but that's fine. We really wanted... Could we squeeze in another one of these? Yes, if we blew up the extra warehouse. I think we just let some time pass. You say the world is still ugly. You've got your own personal large statue. What do you want? Technically, I could put a large statue back there and delete it whenever there's an invasion. There we go. No. This barber, I need you to come south, friend. Go this way. Caesar says send me some furniture. We actually have spare furniture. There we go. So that's 100 more people moving in, 200 people more moving in, 300 more people moving in. We need like one more and then we're at the goal. So there. Be extra luxurious and allow one over the top. If the books in the library give you a headache, or reading by not enough light give you a headache, go across the road to the doctor. 3 extra jobs. And it's really kind of speed up and wait for peace. We could try and replace one of these with a market so that all of these houses are happy with double food. The only downside is we might need a statue to make up for that. Yeah, you say the world is ugly. We could give you some small statues. Still not enough. We could give you some more plaza. Still not enough. I could move that road 1 square further out. And give you an extra oracle. The power of the oracle compels you. There we go. And now all of these transform into double food type. You should as well, in a little bit of time. Good, and then the last one is you. But you're too far away from the road. So no, that's all the Grand Insulay that we're going to be getting. It's just a case of watching the immigrants move in. See if they blow up that statue, because I'd like to not delete it if I don't have to. Turn our game speed back down. Yeah, I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch carefully. We might not have to delete it. I'm finally going to admit that this isn't a barrier to them because they teleport through it anyway. No, they're leaving it alone for the moment. Slow down. Okay, they looked like they were about to walk past, but then they got caught on us. There's Mr. Gladiator helping. Let's see if we can watch Mr. Lion help. Ooh, they got one. Well, that's a bit sad, but that statue wasn't the cause. Okay, everyone can go back home. Sadly, that oracle is too much. And there were apparently some fires somewhere while this was happening. Here. I don't know why these guys thought they needed to help with the fight, but apparently they did. Fixed. Whew. What did we lose? We lost... yeah, about 1.5 legions and some of the javelins. But we have easily enough weapons stored up to replenish them. Rome pays more, and so must we. Speed up. Is there another attack on the horizon? Not for like 2 years. So we can even super speed up. Ooh. Surprise attack. Slow right down, thank you. Surprise attack. You. The 2 undamaged legions are closest, which is good. Although it looks like the other one has replenished. These javelins have not. And neither has that legion. That legion can stay still then. Okay, surprise attack foiled. Go back home again. Back up to full speed. Two more years of peace go up and we've won. Rome pays more wages, and so must we. We've achieved maximum wages. Slow down if there's an attack on the horizon. I don't want them all pouring in at the last moment and killing me because I'm on high speed. That would be embarrassing. %50 inflation in 20 years. Inflation's wild. This has actually managed to support all that food. Yeah, it's still got about 2 more big houses worth of food in there before it would start running dry. Ooh, new year. Suddenly everyone's aging out of the workforce. Minus 100 workforce. Why pay 8 over Rome? So the way it works, Pro Grumbler, is the people are happier if you pay them above the minimum wage, and there are break points. So if you pay them... Where's the exact math? And we can give you the shortcut for it. Here's the spreadsheet with all the info. But for happiness, if you're paying 8 above Rome's rate, then they get 4 happiness per month. If you're paying between 5 and 7, then they get 3. If you're paying 2 to 4 above the default wage, they get 2. If you're paying $1 above Rome's wage, they get 1. If you're paying Rome's wage, 0. And then it goes all the way down to minus 3 if you're paying less than 7. And if you pay even less than that, then they pay that amount divided by 2. So, you could conceivably have wages go all the way up, and you just not pay it if you are good enough at making them happy in other ways. Like if you had low enough tax, no unemployment, everyone was eating 2 foods, if most of the people, if most of the people had the correct kind of foods, then how much could you, in theory, support? With, like, 0 tax rate is 3%, no unemployment is effectively 1, so that's 4, the foods one is 5, and then you get about 12 in blessings a year if you're doing blessings, so that's 6. So you could, in theory, have 12 less wages than Rome somewhat sustainably, if the rest of your city was, like, perfect. You could have 10 less if you are not going to micro the festivals. Something along those lines. Speed down, attackers come. You guard here. You guard here. You get behind them. You guard here. You guard here. You come help there. It's all the armies. And I suppose we now know that this road... No, because it needs to go here to get labor access, actually. I could do it like that. That would work. Except that the people are in the way. My army's in the way, so I can't delete the road in the way I want at the moment. We'll just have to wait. Caesar says, where's my oil? Oops, we send you some oil. Sorry, mate. I forgot. Success. Everyone goes home. And then we can optimize this road for helping make sure the lions help out in the future with the fighting. The lions and gladiators. Okay, speed up. Caesar should say thank you for the oil. We give ourselves two months of high wage. We send Caesar a bribe. We give ourselves 2 more months of high wage. We turn our wages off. And then with the New Year's peace we win. July, August, September, October, November. He even asks for some weapons. Sure, I've got spare weapons, mate. Oh, I don't have 35 of them. I'd need to create a second warehouse. Or allow you to store it. We say export a bit more of this so that I have more space for weapons, but I'm pretty sure the weapon's not going to generate before we have the end of the year anyway. We make a save, for this is our last thing. Comma. End. Does this game make you build statues for the gods? Yeah, they're temples though here. Temples and oracles. So, each oracle makes about 500 population worth of god happy for every god, and then a temple does 750 for that specific god. You also can't let them get too out of balance. We have so many oracles here that we could delete every single normal temple and be fine. But if you make them too unbalanced, like say you had lots of oracles but only temples for one god, the others get jealous, so you do have to keep them within a certain balance level of each other. As well as above a threshold. Else the gods get angry and start smiting you. Neptune can sink all of your boats and destroy trade boats. Ceres can stop all your farms producing food for like a third of a year. Mars either deletes one of your legions or causes an enemy to attack. Mercury blows up a warehouse, steals all the goods from it. Get our promotion. We are promoted from the lofty grade of clerk. Or to the lofty grade of clerk, sorry, from generic citizen. Alright. Are we doing missions or a free city? So we can give you the link, Baton. There is a fan-run website where people post the maps that they make. So this is a custom scenario made by Palma, channel friend, channel viewer Palma, that they've posted to that community site. It's available there for anyone to play if you want to play it. Not very high FPS cutscene. It was amazing that it was a 3D cutscene at all, Maho, back in the day. You were amazed at there being a 3D cutscene, not terrified at its low frame rate and low resolution. Anyway, cheers all. Thank you for joining. I hope you had a lovely time as I did with that map. I think that's a nice little map. Maybe now dial... I think he... Based on my previous feedback, he dialed up how much favor you get from the sending the tribute things. It could maybe dial back a little bit, like a third of the way back the previous way, but it's about right. It's a really lovely map. Thank you, Palma.